So we're going to see like a lot of footage of China megaliths today. So, I mean, we're not just going to be talking. I just wanted to really emphasize that because, you know, I want to share, really to share the information, because that's really my goal. I think that maybe this was here and then people wanted part of this material, which is actually what we're going to get to next, is kind of the big wow. A year and a half, and that's all it took to gain like the support, to lose the freedom of like medical choice, right? And it's pretty wild. Really scary time. And so I had like a broken nose, I had broken cheekbone, a broken occipital bone, which is like the back skull. I'm permanently deaf in my left ear. I have loud tinnitus. It ruptured my eardrum. The incus and malleus were like broke, became dislocated. And yeah, I'm recovering from Bell's palsy. It's a miracle I'm alive, to be absolutely honest. I was lost. I was looking for meaning in life, addicted to these mushrooms, and then it's just like, you got to stop. You got to go home. You're not here to eat mushrooms. You're here to be with your family.
Several Canadian guests so far. So
yeah, we have had several Canadian guests, including Mr. Jason Quitt. He lives in Ontario. But yeah, I that's why I thought you were. I was sure you were from Canada, and then when you popped on screen, I was like, "There's an American flag back there. What's going on?"
Yeah, really, almost like I'm a martyr, right? A Canadian with an American flag, right? And
yeah.
I guess I just wanted to put it up to show, I guess, solidarity with United States, with Americans, right? Because I think, I mean, we were talking, you know, I think the next psyop could be that nationalism, right? And they're trying to make trade wars between our neighbors, right? Similar, we've been trade partners for like a very long time, and now they're trying to create enemies between us. So I want to just put that up just to show I follow more like humanism, right? I just say this is the human podcast rather than like nationalism. So it's just a little
we really
nice,
appreciate that angle and perspective. That's one of the things Dave and I are trying to do, is bring people together with this show. We've already had a variety of guests that, if you've been paying attention, don't necessarily agree with each other, and that's okay. We've got to listen to everybody and be willing to let everybody talk in order to progress as a community. So
yeah, I agree. And one thing I've noticed, being Canadian, like I'm dual citizen of Canada and the United States, half my family lives here in the United States, half lives in Canada, is almost a vast difference in what kind of media they're getting, what they're being told by the media, whether it's COVID or about Trump, or about trade wars, or about Iran and Israel. It's like Canada's getting a totally different message than we are down here. And then down here is a little different too, because it just really depends on what channel you're on, right? You're getting a different message. But there's a lot of fear mongering going on, isn't there, Mark?
Yes, oh, absolutely. And I mean, with the new prime minister brought into Canada, right, he's believed to implement more laws about trade restrictions and trade tariffs. And he actually wrote an article about the Freedom Convoy in February of 2020, where he supported enacting the Emergencies Act. And I'm actually here in Ottawa right now. I'm from Ottawa, Canada.
Yeah,
I'm at
so is my mother. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, nice, interesting. But I was in Miami, Florida from October 2021 to April 2022. So I was not at the Freedom Convoy. Something
Mm-hmm.
kept me out of there. I went to Florida. I liked their stance on, I guess, on like lockdowns, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I moved there and tried to find work, and but then I came back home, and now off to China, I guess. So it's a really interesting journey I've had, I guess, the last few
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. And just
Yeah.
to mention, we are here with Mark Leithead from youtube.com at Megalithic China. And I wanted, before we get to your channel and introduce your channel, I wanted to ask you about that. So you moved. So I was watching all that happen from, like, I was watching Canadians, my family getting these very bizarre messages about COVID, and this very strange groupthink going on where they were really angry at certain people who weren't behaving in a certain way. And it was all about, it seemed a lot of behavior control and a lot of, I don't know, it was a very scary time for me. So when I saw that Freedom Convoy, I remember that happening. I would go during that time, I would get up really early in the morning and I'd turn on YouTube and I'd drink my coffee, and then I'd go for a run, right? That was typically my routine. And I remember turning on YouTube and seeing that Freedom Convoy going on. And I started to cry. Quite frankly, it brought tears to my eyes because I thought Canada had gone insane, because all I talked to was people from my family who were hearing a very different story about COVID than I was, and they were really for lockdowns. They were really for everyone taking certain medications or not, and that kind of thing. And I was so happy to see that. So, but to ask you, you moved to Miami during that time because of all that was going on in Ontario, specifically in Ottawa?
Yes, exactly. I moved in, I guess, October of 2021. I actually left. What really motivated me was they were going to close the country. So in
Yeah.
November of 20, yeah, which is like one of the wildest things I think I've ever heard, where someone
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
leave their own country, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I took it to the extreme. I'm like, this is an extreme case. I have to leave the country. And I mean, it was also nice. It was good. I needed a mental, like, nice place to go after following rules for a year and a half, right? I stayed home, right? At the beginning I wore a mask when I went out. Like, I followed the rules, I followed everything, right? So
Sure, we all did.
just needed something a little different. So
Well, Florida was a
yeah, so
good contrast to that. Of all the states you
yeah.
picked, yeah, Florida was the right
Yeah,
choice.
it really was amazing. I guess I became Florida man, right? As as they say, right?
That's
I
all right.
was
What
Florida man.
what did your family and friends, what was their reaction to that?
Oh my
If
gosh.
you don't mind.
No, for sure. Most were against it. They thought that I was going to contract COVID while in Florida, right? They thought I was going to be sick. They were considering me like even a spreader and potentially dangerous. And
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
Canada was locked down in January of 2022,
Yeah, yeah.
and which was wild. And like, I was sharing like New Year's Eve fireworks on Miami Beach, everyone out, and I was getting and like, no. I mean, it was just the contrast was so huge. And yeah, so I'm always grateful for the United States for that, the mental, even just the mental support that was provided to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we got to stick together.
We do. And being a dual citizen of Canada and the United States, that was one of the scariest times in my life, because I was in a position where I've got my mother is in her 70s, so you never know, knock on wood, anything can happen. And I may have had to either not, like, if something did happen and they were going to close the country, I wouldn't have been able to get in, or if I needed to get in, I would have had to get experimented on medically in order to do so. And it was really quite a disturbing time for me. And because here in Georgia, we were not locked down after about a month. It was 2 weeks. And then it depended on you as an individual how long you wanted to lock yourself down after that. So I would often be talking to Canadian friends and family, I'd see pictures of them. They'd be like hanging out together in the front yard, and they'd be all 6 feet apart with masks on, sitting in chairs and stuff like that. And I'd be talking to family and friends going, what are you guys doing up there? What kind of information are you getting up there? And they were talking about, you know, all the different variations and super spreader this and all this thing. So I really it was really scary, and I'm glad that it's no longer like that. But it goes to show you what can happen when you know, there's certain amount of the government has a certain amount of leverage on the media, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. In terms of just the propaganda, I mean, since from March 2021 to September, or sorry, March 2020 to September 2021 was what, a year and a half, and that's all it took to gain like the support, to lose the freedom of like medical choice, right? And
yeah,
it's pretty wild. Really, really, really scary time, but yeah, it's we've come a long way, I think.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still there's still like a big difference, but definitely come a long way from then. And I really love how you're showing solidarity, because there is division going on in purposely. We're purposely being divided, and it's getting stronger, it feels like. So I like that message. Just having that American flag behind you really really makes me happy. But I guess one
of the reasons why we have a show is to offer you an alternative to that very media. You can tune in here and learn about interesting megalithic architecture from across the globe, learn about ancient civilizations and history that's been lost to the sands of time here on Mike and Dave's Multiverse. So thanks, Mark, for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Mike and Dave. I'm excited.
Yeah, and so I guess we'll start off, but we'll introduce your channel by showing this video that you sent us. And I'm really excited about learning about megalithic China from Mark, because most of my energy spent in Egypt, Peru, a little bit of India. I find that China often gets lost in the shuffle, and it's from what you've sent us looking into that. There's a whole bunch of stuff that the world needs to see. So let's take a look at this video. Wow. And so
yeah, amazing place. Really amazing place.
Amazing. I can't wait to get into some of this stuff, but I wanted to start with, like, so if you tell our audience, who are you, where are you from? You did mention Ottawa, and how did you get into the megalithic China stuff? Like, how was that? How did that become your thing?
Yes, thanks, Dave. I want to also say that was just a little teaser. I sent Dave and Mike and the producer Brittany a bunch of timestamps of videos. Pretty much, I shared pretty much all my videos here today. So we're going to see like a lot of footage of China megaliths today. So I mean, we're not just going to be talking. I just wanted to really emphasize that, because I want to share the information, because that's really my goal. I mean, really, obviously, I was a follower of Michael Collins, right, Wandering Wolf, and his work at Yangshan Quarry and Longyou Caves. And I guess what you will see is we also have other sites we went to, and there's like a theme of we, I guess, are discovering the rock material that it's made of. Is really exciting finding. One of the really most surprising findings that was seeing what Yangshan Quarry is made of, and that was a really wild discovery. I guess we can see in a little bit. And so I guess We
I'll
have
go
the
ahead
map up
and share
here.
the map since you've just described a couple of these locations and zoom in slightly. There you go.
Yeah, so if I can talk a bit about the map, I want to say I use this map for two reasons. It's not the world's best map. One, because of copyright issues, right? This is a topographic map from Wikipedia, right? I want to make sure I didn't like take anyone like real work. What I want to show is that first and foremost, see in the northeast part of China where it's a little bit a light yellow, that is low elevation. And hundreds of millions of years ago, I believe all that area was underwater, I believe, because that area is limestone and it's very old and eroded, and there's limestone. There's deposits of certain stone in the limestone. We're going to get further into that, I guess, in the next few slides. But yeah, these are the sites I went to just in the last year, honestly. I guess starting, we saw Yangshan Quarry, right? That's beside the city of Nanjing. That's a city of like 10 million people. And also, I went to Longyou Caves. We're going to talk about some footage there, right? I do like a 2-hour walkthrough with a gimbal. I highly recommend anyone with going anywhere to buy a gimbal, DJI Ohm 5. This is, I think I paid 130 American dollars, maybe more, 160 American dollars. Highly recommend it. I just put my cell phone in the gimbal and walk around for 2 hours, and I get pretty good footage. And yeah, also, I want to, I guess, continue to say I also have footage of the burial tombs, which were pyramids and shaped, right? So I use the word pyramids. I say more pyramid shape than like stone structure pyramid, because one, I mean, they've said it's a like burial, like just dirt mound. I question that just because of the shape. It looks different from mounds in Ohio that I've seen in person. So in Miamisburg in Ohio, right, just northeast of Serpent Mound, northwest of Serpent Mound. And yeah, I also went to Longmen Grottos, which are like the stone Buddhas, which that shows like the face, and that kind of brings like the face of megalith China, right? Kind of like how Egypt has its face, and other places like Armenia, sorry, not Armenia, like old Iran, right, with like Sargon and the Akkadians, and yes, so yeah, I'm excited. We got lots of footage, so
Cool. And so the first one you wanted to show, so you went here with Michael Collins. You went to China with him. Oh,
No,
okay.
I went by myself, but after watching his videos,
Okay.
yeah, I actually talk a bit about me. I was an English teacher in China
Yeah.
in 2024, and as jobs are kind of rare nowadays in North America, and so the opportunity arose. And I highly recommend. Thing is, you need a bachelor degree to teach English now in China, so that is a little bit of a wall, a barrier. But I recommend anyone go to China to teach English or other English expertise, right? Like I'm going to be a biology teacher for high school in the next few months, and but yeah, I went to Yangshan Quarry and Longyou Caves last September, and then I went to the pyramids in Xi'an, old ancient China, right beside the terracotta statues, in March of 2025, and Longmen Grottoes, March 2025. So
Got it. Let's
yeah,
check. Can we check out this Yangshan Quarry
do it.
then?
Yeah, let's do it,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, let's go ahead. And I'm just taking a look at this now, going, "Wow, This is wild."
Mm,
And so,
yeah,
well,
crazy.
hopefully, I'm at the right timestamp.
Mm.
Do you want the music, the video, or the audio playing as well, or?
Sure. There's no audio. I didn't add music for the drone. This
Okay.
one I just put the raw footage, so there's no sound.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's go
it's
ahead and
okay.
play it then.
Yeah,
Um,
just to.
so this is your drone footage at the Yangshan
Mhm.
Quarry. Now, is there? Did you have to get a permit to do this, or what does that look like?
No, I did not, but I followed all international laws. So I actually have a license in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and right to what you do is if you have a drone over 250 grams, you have to
Uh-huh.
have a license, and then I highly recommend anyone who flies a drone to get the license. Well, one, you have to, and two, you learn just all the legal requirements, international laws, and such. In China, you have to notify that you're flying a drone with the government, and you do that through the app, through the DJI. I recommend DJI drones. I have a Spark. I can show you right now. A little one, a
Mm-hmm.
tiny one,
Mm-hmm.
little one. You can buy the Mini 2 now for $500. I recommend it very highly. But I guess to talk more about the footage, yeah, this is just to introduce the site. It's not disconnected from the ground, right?
Okay.
They didn't move it. It's connected to the ground. But if you look on the left, you can see that it seems like they've removed blocks in the past,
Yeah.
because all that left side, and you can see later on there's like cut marks in the ground that I have like up close video of. So it shows that they removed blocks here, right, before, likely.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can fast forward. You can fast forward to
The next
the
part.
next. Yeah, if
There
that's
was
if
the
you
next
want.
part you wanted was about 504. That's
Mm,
535. So let's go back to here. Is this
yeah,
where you wanted?
just yeah. I think yeah. It's because a lot of people, they see these independently, but to
Uh-huh.
see them together in tandem, I mean,
Yeah.
many people have a lot of really different ideas about the use of this place,
Uh-huh.
and so seeing them in tandem in line, it really gives a better idea of
Yeah.
what they are. And yeah, this you can we can move to the next video actually, if you want.
So
Just
is
this is
there
just to
is no,
introduce.
no worries. Is there an official narrative about that site and where it came from?
There is a sign, and there's a sign plaque there. I did not film it, unfortunately, but I
Mm-hmm.
read it,
Mm-hmm.
and it said that it was, I think, this is completely off the top of my head, but might get the years wrong, but I think maybe 500 years ago, there were trying to they wanted to build the steles. So in China, they have these like flint steles, which are these like big plaques that they engrave whatever they want to write into it. At the
Mm-hmm.
Shaolin Temple, I shared a video also. You can see these steles. So they in China they have these big. I mean, if I were to estimate the size, I don't know. The biggest I've seen is maybe 15 to 20 feet high, but I mean
Mm-hmm.
they're nothing as big as this. Like I can't. They're trying to make the argument that that long, big, flat part is going to
Uh-huh.
be the vertical steely piece, but I mean I can't. I've never seen anything like this big, and they want to put, I think, this one with the nubs on the head of the tall, skinny one, and
Oh,
that was
come
their
off it.
plan. Sorry.
So I said, I'm sorry. I just said, oh, come off it. That sounds insane.
Yeah.
So is that
Yeah.
long one? That looks way bigger than the stone of the pregnant woman in Baalbek? Is it?
I think it is. I think it is. I think I think the title of this video, I put world's largest megaliths, and someone in the comments corrected me and said, since didn't really move them, they're not technically
Okay.
megaliths.
Right.
And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, wow, like you're right. You're right. It's I mean I'm incorrect. And so I mean, yeah, it's bigger. It looks like it's bigger
It
than
looks
Baalbek. I've
much,
never been
much
to
bigger.
Baalbek. Yeah, it looks like it's bigger. So I mean, I don't know. And also on the plaque, they said like the nubs, and that we can talk about the nubs for forever too. The nubs are mind blowing, and but on the plaque it said the number of nubs represents the number of something related to their ancient Chinese tradition. I don't remember exactly what it is, but they said it was to build a stele with the head, but it's just too massive. Like it's enormous.
Yeah, you couldn't. I mean, imagine trying to lift that thing today and put it on top of that other thing. That's just that's wild.
Yeah.
So how remote is this area, Mark? Like how difficult is it to get out here?
Yeah, actually very easy, to be
Okay.
honest. Yeah, Michael Collins again made a video describing exactly how to get there. So it's right beside Nanjing, which is a city of 10 million people. And so like I took a high-speed train from Shanghai going at I'm going to speak kilometers, sorry, 300 kilometers per hour. So not too remote actually.
Okay. And this is the and can you explain that about the nubs again? Because those look obviously very familiar to nubs you see in Peru and in Mexico and whatnot, but much
Yeah,
much
I
bigger
mean,
though, much bigger.
yeah, I mean the nubs are much bigger. They're also really crude. They're crudely carved, right? Which is really interesting because you see the nubs in Peru or wherever, they're really what's it called, like almost precision cut, almost, right? Some, but these, it seems like it was really crudely carved. They weren't really polished or sanded down. I think this could have been made by humans with chisels. I think
Sure.
there's a possibility for. I think it was also quarried many times, different times. Like these holes. I mean, I have no idea. I'm just guessing. I think that maybe this was here, and then people wanted part of this material, which is actually what we're going to get to next. Is kind of the big wow. Yeah, you can click there that to reveal, right? So this was really mind blowing. I don't know if you've seen this, like this part of the footage before, but this was like really the not the eureka moment of the location, but it was just like, so I went there and I'm like, okay, this area's limestone. Wikipedia says limestone, and you get there and you're like, wait a second, this is reflective,
Yeah.
right? It's not gray. I thought it was limestone. I thought it was gray, and then you get there and you see it looks blue, but it's actually black, which was mind blowing, which blew my mind. And you can see it immediately, right?
Yeah. Can you see? Is there other spots on the site that have that?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I think I
Yeah.
gave you
We got some pictures.
in the timestamps.
Uh-huh.
If you just follow in order,
Yeah.
and yeah, so there's actually like an area with like that shows a big patch, and this is where people were walking on. They would climb up, and so they wore away the outer, I guess, oxidized material. I might get that wrong. I don't know if the brown is being oxidized or not or whatever.
Yeah, I'm
And
just
yeah,
following the
so
timestamps now.
yeah,
Okay.
and look at that. And if it's thank you Throku in the YouTube comments for IDing the stone as flint. It's flint. It looks like flint. It aligns with the limestone deposits, and I mean I have it here. I can create like a spark, right? Like I have some samples here, right?
Yeah.
We can do it right now. I mean I don't know if everything creates sparks, but like it's
Yep.
flint, right? Pretty
Nice.
wild.
Wow.
I had that in my
Yeah.
survival kit back in the old Boy Scout days. Had the little flint with the steel. You were good to go.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
exactly. Yeah, so this is it. So what's really interesting about flint, I mean, there's so much, right? Well, I guess, but one is flint's like much harder than limestone, and you can see it's black, right? It reflects the sky. And so this flint, I mean, I don't know if it's as hard as steel, right? That's what the internet says, a Mohs hardness of 7. This one, I mean, if you step on steel, I don't think you would wear it down and make it all polished, right, with rubber shoes through time. So I would imagine this flint is probably a lot softer than 7, making this feat of quarrying it more feasible. But this is just a theory, right?
right.
And another thing is flint is, I guess, silicon dioxide. It's a quartz. It's a crypt. What I want to get the word right. It is a cryptocrystalline form of the mineral quartz, a variety of chert, primarily composed of silica, and which is really the same composition as granite in theory. I mean, granite has feldspar and mica, but it has a high quantity of quartz as well, right? So, I mean, I don't know any theory. I don't know. I don't know much about theories of why people would use quartz. I know there's like piezoelectric theories, right? But I don't know that information. But I mean, the fact that this is a form of quartz really is really interesting,
It
because it
is.
could, right? It could lead to some other function.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about that either, but I'm sure some people in the comments will tell us. I'm gonna move on to the Yangshan Quarry stones here.
So yes, this I filmed. I have a white box, and this is Yangshan Quarry stone. And what you can see, the colors, it's actually black. So it looks blue. I thought it was blue when I first went there. Actually, I guess I declared it as blue, but it's black. It's like as black as night, and it just reflects. It's just super reflective. It's super psychedelic, this stone. This one's so crazy, right? Like it's a sedimentary form of quartz that is, I guess, millions of years old. And yeah, that's looks like black flint. And I guess there was some thoughts of whether it was maybe obsidian, right? But obsidian we know is volcanic in nature, right? Igneous formation. Whereas this area, I'm an environmental biologist. I'm not a geologist, but all the reading I've read was limestone and old seabeds, and that there's flint deposits, and it makes sense because it's on like a hill, kind of a mountainous hill, but it could just be a deposit of flint, which explains why it hasn't eroded as much compared to the other mountains. Actually, now that I think about it.
This is the next piece, the next part you had identified.
Perfect. Yeah, just to show the pieces. So yeah, pretty wild. So I mean,
you said it looked blue when you were there.
yeah, it looks blue because it reflects the blue sky. Which
That
is
makes
really
sense.
wild. Yeah, because it's super reflective. So I mean, it's like, so I polished this with sandpaper, and what you can see is you can polish it for it to be, how there's like obsidian mirrors. I guess you could make a flint mirror.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking, right? Going down that line of what it could have looked like, right? I mean, the carving is pretty crude, but I mean, if you wanted to, you could. What I'm thinking is there's these unexcavated tombs, right? I wonder if they have these like massive flint mirrors from these quarries, right? Like imagine you excavate and then you find this like massive round flint mirror or something, right? I mean, because there are steles all over China, but I mean, not the size of Yangshan Quarry, right? And it's Yangshan Quarry. I think there's definite evidence that it was carved for a reason, being that shape with the nubs and how flat the back is.
And we'll share this. This is you marked this see-through flint.
Yes, so this is the internet tells me this is an identifying way of determining that it is flint and not other types. I think obsidian is not see-through and when it's super thin. I think I might be wrong, but that's indicative of flint. So I'm just sharing my identification.
Yeah, well,
procedure.
it's interesting because go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say I checked off to the side. Flint around a 6.5 to 7 on Mohs hardness scale. Steel, depending on the quality, could be up to an 8. So sort of right close to each other, but average flint is going to be a little below steel.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I don't know if this is as hard as steel.
Right.
Just a hunch, right? I
So,
don't know. I mean, I don't know what type of flint it is, even, right? It might be. I don't know. I'm not a. Right. I'm not.
so you want me to show you those Legend of Zelda? What you have the Legend of Zelda photos up next up?
Yeah. Because this is huge. I mean, this is massive because
I
this
got it.
actually ironically
You're on it, Mike.
help.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, they
Right.
use flint a lot, right? You can see in the bottom right there, and it looks exactly like that piece I was holding,
It does.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, really wild. So I mean, when I came back and I was like, look, what is this obsidian? And then I'm playing this game and this
Mhm.
stone is like right in my face. I'm like, oh, like, and then I read the YouTube comment of Throku again, who said it was flint, and I'm like, that's like it makes perfect sense. And it's just funny that I learned this through a video game, and then I was
Right.
looking at yeah, I was looking at the number, like the sales of Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild sold 30 million copies, and Tears of the Kingdom sold like 20 million, and there's probably an overlap of who bought the other, but I mean that's like educating definitely 30 million young people about like about Flint and I guess this game's interesting. They talk about like petroglyphs. They even have they have like a funny character that this isn't a spoiler, but they have a funny character that is like discovering petroglyphs and ancient ruins, but he's doing it for his ego, and so he wants to do it so that he's like so he's right where he's doing it for his ego. And so this game is really good with ancient ancient theories and ruins, and it seems like there's going to be just you ask it maybe in every class you ask a child, oh, what's a piece of flint, and it's like, oh, it's you can make it to start a fire, and I'm sure they learned from this game, so it's really interesting.
Yeah, that game has it's learning from video games is like something that a lot of people who don't play don't understand. But like I learned so much from Skyrim just about like smithing and stuff like that, and different kinds of things like that. It, one of the cool parts about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is it really does reflect a lot of our ancient world in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And you can see some of the stuff you see in that, in our actual world here, like on planet Earth. So I think that's I'm glad you threw that in there. And that did look exactly like that piece you were holding.
It did.
So,
Yeah, wild.
and then
Cool.
the next thing you have is the it's Shaolin Temple, I think.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and show
so
that.
please, it's related. It's a train of thought. We're building to a
Yep.
climax, which is right after the Shaolin.
Very cool. And I just
Yeah,
want to
so
make
this
sure
is
I'm
one
on
of
the right
those.
timestamp.
No, this is a good point. Oh, this is one of those steelies of flint, right? So we know that they did very large pieces. And then this like turtle of flint. I don't know if it's new or old.
Wow.
One is
So this is a statue of a tortoise, sort of a large.
I think so.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if it's new. I don't know if it's ancient.
Yep.
Because the steely's definitely ancient, but the base might be new. But the point is to show that it can be, that like if you do polish it, it can be
Yes.
mirror black, even
Right.
even in nature, even out like right.
Yeah.
So that was just to show that it can get just completely like a mirror, just
Yeah, it's
slick.
absolutely gorgeous. And now the
Mm.
next thing we're looking at, we're going to be looking at, Mike, is the photo, the Yangshan
Yep. So
AI
speaking
photos.
of a mirror polish, next we got a series of some AI generated images of some very shiny looking fixtures.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm thinking, where I'm going? Like, I mean, if anyone wanted, I mean, I'm not suggesting that someone goes and polishes Yangshan Quarry, but I mean, maybe that's what they used it for back in the day. Imagine if it was just completely polished, right? Like you can have some pretty crazy wild mirrors. And I mean, if you're thinking the next step, if you want to go to the next photo, please, if that's okay. Thanks. Yeah. And if you see where I'm going with this, maybe the next one, please, next photo, is I wonder if they even used it, right? Like I have no evidence for this, but right, like as above, so below. Maybe they used it to like mirror the sky or to see like the sky reflection, right? Because I mean, imagine a polished flint black mirror ball in seeing the Milky Way, or even under like a full moon. Like it'd be pretty wild, and it would be pretty crazy. And I mean, even the Yangshan Quarry, there's the two corridors, and I mean, if it's almost like an infinite flint mirror, right? And I mean, that's just, who knows? Maybe it was like at Saxe Homan, right, where that like all the cuts, and maybe it was like a Saxe Homan type of location, right? Not the walls, but I mean the cuts into stone. So I mean. It's a trip. It's I think it's really interesting. It could be reality. The current shape of Yangshan Quarry, the tool marks are really crude. There's no polishing. Like they didn't intentionally polish it, but you could, and maybe they did in the past, right? I mean, it's a possibility.
Well, yeah, they had all the. Go ahead, Mike.
But it could be a useful tool, especially if you're keeping track of the movement of constellations over time, to have a mirror situated at a fixed point at your temple or whatever, the observatory, and then obviously they wouldn't scroll onto the globe, but they could somehow track, the movements of things as they see them. I guess maybe without stretching their necks upward as much. I don't know. I see where you're going with that, though. And I'd easily see how that could be, something useful.
And then the next.
I did not know that about the mirror being useful for tracking it. I mean, that makes.
Well, I'm purely speculating, but that was the first thing that jumped in my head. Is I don't know.
That's what Rick Osmond was telling us, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. And they did that with the pyramids, right? What were the pyramids in Egypt? What were they covered in? I'm trying to remember right now off the top of my head. Limestone. They were smooth. They were smooth white limestone. So and they were reflective. So you never know. So the next part you wanted me to show, and we'll play that.
Yeah. So as you can see, the tool marks are pretty crude, right? They're not parallel. They're not like it looks like chisels. It looks like hand chisel, right? I mean, it looks like it could have been done by hand chisels, right? It seems like it seems like a possibility.
The precision and smoothness are not beyond what could be accomplished with that level of technology.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But there are some really interesting points, but in the future. But yeah, come back to this. So these are quarry marks in the ground, right? So they removed. It looks like they removed pieces of flint, and it looks like they removed smaller pieces than those big stones, right? You can see the angles. It looks like they removed just like little blocks.
And
the ground is all like uneven. It's not like as if I don't know if they were just hacking away and removed a big block, or if they were removing smaller blocks, right? And this is also, Michael Collins showed this. He was the first one to really show these really interesting. They're not scoop marks because you can see the chisel marks, but they did it in such a way that it looks like there's some sort of structure to this for whatever reason. I don't know. It could be this. I mean, it looks honestly like a digger came in and did that, but I don't think it did. I think it's just like humans, and you can see the corners. Looks like it was human, right? So I mean, I mean, it looks like it could have been done by human, but just the amount of effort and why it's so. I mean, right? Even if you go down that path, that it could be handmade, and it's not one guy. It's not one person, right? It seems like it's a lot of people, and I think I'm just showing more random colors. So
yeah, I think interest because it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't look like the scoop marks from Egypt, but it is a lot of effort for. I can't help but wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
So this part is I want to show that the front is curved.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, interesting.
It could
Weird.
be chance, it could be random. I don't know if they wanted to make the front curved, but
Interesting.
the back is like straight, like really straight. And if you wanted to fast forward to that next part in the
Yep.
video showing the
Yep.
back and just how straight it is,
Yeah.
it's really a trip because so the front is curved. I mean, it could be just a chance, right? They're hacking away and then they just make a curved surface, right? But if you look at the back, which is really interesting.
Yeah, we're getting there. Sorry.
No worries.
There we go. Here.
Yeah, so you can see the size, and you can see like they intentionally made it like flat. Like they really put the effort to make it flat.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
mean, again, it's not just one person. I don't think. Maybe it is just one crazy person going at it, right? But it seems like they well, I mean, like they really wanted the back flat for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that it says maybe they were planning to move it in one piece, right? I mean, why? Maybe they were going to take chunks off it, but like, why wouldn't you just make it flat afterwards? Why would you make it flat on site?
Yeah,
Which
so
is really strange.
Purposely curved on the front and perfectly flat on the back.
Yeah, I don't know if it's I don't know about purposely curved.
Yeah.
But purposely flat, I would say. But that's just me. I mean, I could be wrong. That's my interpretation, right?
Right.
And this is just the size comparison.
That's wild.
So,
yeah, I mean that's I think that's larger than the stone of the pregnant woman, and we could look that up at some point. The largest megalith in Yangshan Quarry, Brittany, versus the stone of the pregnant woman. But that thing's massive. So the story was they were going to stand this thing up. They were going to move it and stand it up and put that other thing on top.
Yes, there is I saw I mean, I'll quote, do you know, I'm sorry, V, I forget her last name. V, she is, I believe she's a Chinese national, and she's on X. I'm really sorry, I have to bring up her name if I'm mentioning it. I think,
Yeah,
anyways, I'm sorry, I'll shout her out after, but she makes the argument that they were going to stand up the flat long one to stand up and then put one on top of it and use one as the pedestal. I'm not sure which is the head and which is the pedestal, but one was going to be the head, one was going to be the pedestal. But I mean, I mean, I asked, are there any examples existing of this size, right? And I guess maybe it's more rhetorical question posed, but if we don't see something this big, we can't assume that would be its final purpose. I mean, I don't know if they have good writing of Chinese texts about it. I'm not sure, but it's hard to believe.
Yeah, that seems a little wild. This is the next one you have set up.
Yeah, the nubs. Just talk about the nubs, because the nubs, that's another thing. So like they really wanted it flat, and they really wanted the nubs, right? Because like these nubs aren't, they're intentionally there, right? And I don't know why. I have no idea. I have no idea why. I can't really speculate. I wonder if maybe they were a world traveling society and saw nubs other places and just wanted to copy, just like but that's just complete speculation. But yeah, the nubs are purposeful and they're crude. They're not. It's as if someone kind of just like hacked away and said, okay, we got the nub and we can move on.
Right. Just FYI, Brittany said the Yangshan Quarry steel steely base is significantly larger and heavier than the stone of the pregnant woman. The blocks represent a project of immense ambition, but ultimately failed due to the sheer size of the stones, while the stone of the pregnant woman stands as an impressive testament to Roman engineering achievements, though its transport also proved challenging. Both sites offer intriguing insights into the capabilities of limitations of the ancient. But I don't get why would you start quarrying something like this? Like people weren't dumb back then. It's not like you just quarry it thinking you knew how to move it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, this is way too big, right?
Yep.
Because it's like way too big, It's like it's not even way too big; it's comically too big to move,
Yes, I agree. I don't think that. I mean, maybe they did try to decide to use the quarry to do something in the
Mhm,
past
mhm.
related to that, but I don't see that as being like. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Next up, I'm gonna stop sharing
Yeah, let's
that.
do it. Yeah, let's keep moving. We got lots. I brought.
Can you guys see this? These are the nubs.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, like this one right here. You could see it's not even. It's not even like a square nub, right? You look at the bottom part. It was as if they were just like they're like, okay, we need a nub, but I gotta have a beer after
Right.
work,
Yeah.
right? This is like they say, like slapped it on, but they were necessary. I don't know if maybe they were eroded, maybe they were using, but you can see the tool marks
Mm-hmm.
still, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they were important, but they weren't precise. They weren't precise at all.
Yeah, it does. They don't seem to have a pattern that's I don't know, makes a lot of sense to me either. Um,
No,
is this the next part?
it's just to show the flat. It's just super flat,
Yeah. Wow.
like really purposeful.
Yeah, I'd like to know the actual precision of that because that looks really flat and really straight.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Michael Collins, he talks about an app polyform. Oh my god, Polygon. No, I turned off my phone. He said there's like a what is it? LiDAR using photos app. You can film. It'd be cool to do that of Yangshan Quarry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting up the app, anyways. But yeah, you're right. Something more scientific approach would be best. Even just like a laser, like a carpenter's laser or whatever.
Yeah. That's wild. Because I honestly, like I
Yeah,
said, I didn't even know that this site existed. So,
yeah.
um,
It's really wild. Thanks to Wandering Wolf for sure.
yeah, we love that guy. Did you watch his episode that we had of him on our show?
I did, yeah. It was great. It was really great. It was really great. I like the part where he said, like, it makes you wonder, like, what I can do, like, what's possible for us as humans, right? Like, can we do this? Are we
Yeah,
able to? It pushes our
for sure.
ability.
Especially if like we're highly motivated by something, as well as we have the time on our hands and the specialization and that kind of thing. Um, who knows? Who knows? Um, Mike, you want to move on to we're on 7 now.
Section 6. We're wrapping up section 5. We're ready to go to
Yeah,
section
sounds
6.
good.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
we're wrapping up 5. Yeah, my bad.
Good drone landing there. And taking back off. Look at that. I saw the drone had its own little shadow in there for a moment.
yeah. I just pasted all the flights together. I just put all the footage. I figured just give it all, put it all out there.
Might
Yep.
as well.
Mm,
Cool. So introducing to the
yeah,
Longyou Caves.
yeah. This place, really amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to show it's really rare to get like the caves with nobody in there, right? So
Wow.
this was the
Yeah.
this was the biggest, I guess. Well, the second biggest of. So there's 5 undrained
Mhm.
caves, and I mean it was just so serene and just so calm in there, and it was like cool and just a really beautiful site. So this is sandstone, right? So very much softer stone.
And
And
what is that for?
Yeah.
It's a what is it used for now? It's just a cave that you can go visit as a tourist site, or?
Yeah, I don't think there's like religious, like Buddhist association. I mean, I mentioned that because of Shaolin Temple, right? Where there's like sites and it's associated with like Buddhism. But here, no, this site was, I guess, to give a little more information, I believe it was found in the early 90s, and fishermen were finding, I think, like massive fish in these caves, and they wondered why, and they decided to pump out one of the caves, and they found, I guess, these tool marks, and so I go really close up and I show the tool marks like really, really well. Thankfully, luckily, and yeah, beautiful place. There's 9 caves that are still undrained, which blows my mind. They've been explored, but they haven't been drained. And yeah, so these are the tool marks, which is pretty, like, really,
very interesting.
Really really weird, really different from Yangshan Quarry, right? Really parallel.
Yes. I'm trying to
And there's the
imagine
bands.
what that would have
Sorry, go
looked
ahead.
like. I'm just trying to imagine what that tool would have looked like in my head. That's wild.
Yeah, exactly. You say tool, right? I mean, even look at the ceiling. It looks like it was made in bands. Right?
Yes.
It looks like someone was just like hitting it all the way down, but here it's almost as if they go like horizontal in bands.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is wild.
They had some iconography, it looked like, in there too, like of a fish or something, like a fish tail or something.
I think that's a new carving.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been, I think Michael Collins had discovered that is a new carving. And this is, again, Michael Collins, he's the one that found, I guess, was the first one to really go and film this place. And another 3-hour ride from Shanghai. So you fly into Shanghai and you take the high-speed rail to Nanjing for Yangshan Quarry and to Longyou for these Longyou Caves.
Right on.
Very interesting.
Moving on to section 7, next video.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so I did a white box of the stones, and so I cut this in seconds. I cut that in maybe 20 to 30 seconds. So super soft, extremely soft. So putting the pieces together, right, you have the super soft stone, sandstone, and these tool marks. And then you wonder, I mean, what... You already think, like, what's possible? If I can cut this with a knife, like a little knife, in seconds, imagine like a rotating device of some sort, right? With anything on the end, even flint, right? We just saw Yangshan Quarry. Maybe they quarried the flint at Yangshan Quarry to make these tools for Longyou Caves creation.
Right on. Next, we've got
I'm
another
not saying
series.
they did that, but I mean they could.
Yep.
I mean, they could have, right? Like, I mean, and we know they used flint.
And if they could, is the next series of images you trying to envision the technology they would have had?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and to put the woman right, everyone thinks maybe it's like man-made, but it's like, oh, what if it was like woman-made? And that's just a
Yep.
You know, it could be woman-made, but you know, what if it's like a foot-powered, like, bicycle type of thing, right? That just with like a wheel that cuts into the stone, and they just dig down, and I put that one there because that might be kind of the closest.
Now, I think I've
theory
seen
in terms of shape.
In the background, I think this guy's actually out at some of those markets. He's got a little bell on the buggy, and he rings it a whole lot as he's meandering through the marketplace. I think I've seen that.
Yeah, they
You almost hear
they made this
the
one really.
noise surrounding this little vehicle. I don't know.
Yeah, they made this one accurate.
Yeah, I see where you're going with this, though, is that it could have been a technology they had that would just need we would have to reimagine, of course.
Yeah.
But if you were able to cut it with that,
Right.
that easily,
Yeah, that's right.
it could be done with the technology that they had back then. Just like this it might not be far off either. Like some kind of man-powered device that I don't know. I'm trying to use my imagination, and it's definitely doable.
Yeah, or even something like a pulley system, even right around something like a river is
Yes,
nearby.
right.
Who knows? Maybe they use the river. Maybe you need more power than a flowing river to cut sandstone, but could be anything.
Yep. It could be.
Mhm.
I'm gonna move to 8. Longyou Caves, gimbal. It says.
Yes. So there's some really interesting tool marks. Like there's some really long, continuous tool marks. So you see like the tool mark continues across. It looks like it continues across the band. I don't know if they like aligned it, but it looks like it continues, right?
Yeah.
Which is really strange.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
does. That's wild.
Yeah, and it goes for pretty far.
This was about where you wanted us.
Oh yeah, just to show another angle of the caves.
These caves are so impressive.
Yeah, they're I love. I never even knew these existed either. So obviously, you mentioned Michael Collins said that these carvings were more modern, but I think they're gorgeous. Besides the fact it looks like some dragons. I thought I saw a big fish or a big whale on the other one. Very interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate. I mean, obviously, I think we all appreciate all types of art, but in this case, it's we're losing ancient tool marks while we're making new art. So it's
I thought about that.
Yeah, personally, I would like to no further carvings to be made, but I mean, I appreciate art of all cultures. We should not think, oh, only old stuff is valuable, right? I think that's a trap to fall in, and but I don't think we should lose tool marks for new art. That's just my 2 cents.
No, I totally agree. Sometimes I think we come across stuff like that. People weren't, I don't know, whenever they made those art pieces, they weren't thinking about the implications of that, how they were destroying essentially archaeological evidence of an ancient civ. So next up is series 9. Mike, are you on that?
Opening it now. Going to 9, mark 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah, so this is pretty wild. This is actually really cool. These are undrained caves, right? The frontier of discovery right here. Yeah, really cool. Really nice site. I went to all 9 undrained ones open to the public. I think they say there's like 24 in total, 9 actually. But I only found 14, the 5 undrained and the 9. So this one's cool because it shows the tool marks under the water. So that's a cool shot right there. It's kind of like irrefutable. You can see it on the walls, right? But like under the water, it's like irrefutable that this is a human or like artificially made cave. Right? Pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if anyone has braved the depths,
Wow.
gone swimming, and see what else, what's the extent, what's accessible down there.
The plaque said the depths, and I think they said that there has been exploration, but I think they said they were like most were empty. But I mean, who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's like fish in there. Just
Yeah.
wild.
Life will show up everywhere
Yeah.
if you
Sure
let it.
will. Section 9 was pretty short. Those are the only two links on that. We can go 10.
That's good.
It's the drone footage of the site. Is this correct?
So that's that in the middle. That's where Longyou Caves is. All the green. So all the caves are under there, and it's beside a pretty big river, and that's the city of Longyou that you can see in the distance. And so it's interesting. It's right beside a big river, and it makes you wonder, right? Like if Longyou Caves exist, I wonder if there's other caves along this river in China, along sandstone locations. Maybe there's other undiscovered caves along the river somewhere.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I thought of when I saw the area was like, wow, are we missing anything? Did we build a bunch of cities on top of some stuff there? Buildings and whatnot?
Yeah, really.
Interesting.
Yeah, really interesting. And that's just the second view showing just a second view.
Okay. Very cool. It looks like a gorgeous place to visit, regardless if you're into megalithic, ancient architecture, or anything like that. Just looks like a beautiful landscape.
Yeah, Longyou's amazing. It's like a smaller Chinese city, so people are it's kind of like a small town feel in terms of China, right? People are super friendly and shy and kind and really nice. Yeah, really nice place.
Are you on the pyramids,
Yep,
Mike?
I've got it one click away whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm done. Let's go.
Sounds good. Yeah, and then this, I guess, I filmed March 2025. This is near Xi'an. There's, I guess, videos. Shout out Jimmy Corsetti for I guess bringing this to light of the pyramids in China. Right, he was really talking about that and sharing like even Google Earth images, locations of here. So I gotta shout out him for sure. But yeah, I just went with the drone, filmed it. Really wild getting there. I took a taxi there, and we drove through some really like small Chinese towns. it was a wild experience because this is north of the city of Xi'an, right? So this is near. It's maybe 50 kilometers away from the terracotta soldiers. So these are unexcavated, right?
Yeah, I've been heard in other videos. I thought maybe it was in Jimmy's video that you aren't allowed to go to some of these pyramids.
Yes,
is that
that
true?
is true. There are some that I think are fenced. There are some that have been, I guess, partially excavated. And I mean, like the Qin Shi Huang, the terracotta soldiers, it's not. That's like I think Michael Collins has drone footage there, but I mean, it's not as simple to just go and fly a drone there, which is why I came here, where I looked at the Google map. I'm like, okay, this is pretty isolated. They're large. They're nearby each other. Okay, I'm gonna go there because there's over 40 along in an area of maybe 20 kilometers in a line on the north side of a river that goes east west. They're not aligned perfectly north south. They're all aligned kind of differently. Yeah, so
they're amazing.
Yeah, really crazy. You can see in the distance other ones, right, in the small hill.
Yeah. There's dozens or hundreds in
Well,
China of
there's
these, or
definitely over 40. There's a gentleman's channel. I forget his name. I'm sorry if I get this wrong. I think he may have passed away. He really, I can't believe I can't bring the name. He looked a lot at like Google Earth and made videos on YouTube about these locations of these pyramids, and they're just really different. Some are more leveled, like levels. Some it looks more like the step pyramid, I guess, in Egypt. Some look more like
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in person up close, there's some pretty interesting things. I mean, I've seen mounds in Ohio. I went to the Miamisburg Mound, which is one. I've only been to one mound, but it's round. It's just like a circle, right? And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
these are not, they're not circles. They're trapezoid shaped for whatever reason. And yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Is that a dude?
Yeah, I think that was me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Sorry about that. You just said something. It was the end of that section.
I'm echoing. I think that I always echo when Mike's sharing screen. Next up, the Longman Grottos.
Yes. So
You guys got that? Seen that?
yeah, so this is, I guess, like statues made. This is 1,350 years old.
That's insane.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're huge, and this is, yeah, like really detailed work. And they say it's limestone, but I guess what I'm going to show might suggest something similar to what I was talking about with Yangshan Quarry. And if you think about the map, right, remember that like big yellow area. If you think about Yangshan Quarry's in that yellow area, and also Luoyang,
Yep.
where Longman Grottos it looks like it may have been underwater too, right, with the limestone formation.
Yep.
And yeah, huge.
This place is amazing.
Yeah, amazing, really amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and just the detail in the face is really, really cool. It's like, you know, I know the Egyptian statues are different, but you know, as you know, some people have said, like Uncharted X, Ben Van Kerkwyk suggested, right? Like it has like a gaze that doesn't, I don't know, just the gaze just looks different. It doesn't look, I don't know. I don't want to quote him. I'm just saying it just looks different. It has a different type of gaze, different look in the face. And this part's cool. So you could see that they carved behind the stone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even just this little piece. It was the
Mm-hmm.
tiniest like little part where they successfully did that, right?
That reminds me of India. You see a lot of stuff like that
Oh,
in
really?
India.
Oh, yes. The links, the
Yeah,
chains.
like yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
But wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's the only place I saw it on here but what it says is that I don't know how they did it. I'm not inferring I know how, but for that part they could not have used like a big circular saw. They needed to
No.
use something else, and it's not that hard stone, so it's not that impressive, but it's still interesting, right? And this just shows, right, the so that's not paint, that's reflective flint again. That's like polished down flint, which suggests that the Longling Grottos is also made of flint. It could be another like flint outcrop, which I think it is, right? If you're looking at, right?
Yeah, this is the next piece you wanted to show.
Yeah, because I think it is. And then I mean, and thinking about Yangshan Quarry again, remember when like it could be polished, right? Maybe like now it's all gray, and I don't know if the word oxidized is correct, but
it's definitely changed geologically, and you know, but yeah, it very well could have been polished.
Yeah, and it could be, we could even, I'm not saying we should, but we could polish it. We could polish it today, and it could be just like
Yeah.
spectacular. Pretty cool, really cool. So, and it's on a beautiful, beautiful river.
Next up are a couple AI pictures, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
No worries.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe it was polished. Maybe it was totally polished.
The AI is really useful for imagining what polish would look like without having to go back there in person and do all the polishing.
And polish it, yeah. But if that, I could see that being polished. You know, and geologically speaking, it would take not that much time for it to unpolish it. You know what I mean? With weather and not keeping it kept up. You know?
Yes, for sure. I agree, because the surfaces are really smooth too in some of the statues.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that being polished. So that's just something to think. This is AI, of course, just to confirm again.
Yep.
Yeah, so these are like floor tiles at Longyou Grottos, and you can see it's the same material, right? These are modern, right? They made them for the tourist site, but we can see it's the same. It's like the same thing. It's flint. It's the same type of weathering, same type of thing. So
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, really interesting.
They almost even use the same kind of, I don't know, striping, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
to do it.
That's a good point. Yeah, so we should figure out how they did this, and apply it to Yangshan Quarry. But yeah, I think this flint, it doesn't. I don't think walking on steel would make a similar type of thing, right? Because if you compare it to the hardness of steel, I don't think it would do that. So I imagine the Chinese flint is probably lower than a 7 on the Mohs scale.
Wow,
yeah, it's beautiful.
This site is amazing.
It was just so amazing. Everyone was so nice, and I had a really nice time visiting these sites.
What is the name that? It almost looks a bit like Petra.
Yeah.
In that the bunch of different caves going in each direction, and then like in the middle, this incredible. I'd be curious to know about who these dudes are and what their significance is. That would be interesting.
Yeah,
to know.
I wrote it in the YouTube description. The name of it's Buddhist related. Yeah,
Buddhist,
but I don't know much about it. Pardon my ignorance. I'm just a filmer. Like,
you're good.
Just a guy with a camera. Really.
Yeah. So were those dwellings? Do you know?
To live?
Although, yeah, on the right,
they're pretty small. So I mean, each one has a little Buddha statue. Also, most do.
Okay.
Or some have a lingam. In like the Indian lingams, just like the stone. Most have like human Buddhas. Some have only a lingam or a small stele. So it's more, I don't know if it's to honor the deceased or to just pray to Buddha through Buddhism. I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, there's a lot of little they call them grottos.
A bunch, yeah.
Cubbies.
Interesting. Wow. So you're on your way back to China in like 2 weeks, huh?
Yes, I am. Thank goodness. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. I'm extremely blessed. Yeah, going back to teach high school biology. Yeah.
Wow. And do you have any other sites like that you're going to visit and film coming up?
Oh my gosh, I mean, I would like to go to the Great Wall of China. I mean, again, I really don't mean to I really don't mean to step on anyone's toes. I know some people wanted to. The Great Wall, the Great Wall is so huge, right? There's so many places to film there, and I was there. I've actually was there in 2004 at the Great Wall near Beijing, and I was at the tourist area where everything was built up. It was huge, but I mean, other specific sites, maybe go back to Xi'an and film more different pyramids, to be honest. And other than that, right now, maybe go back to Longyou and try to find some caves. Go on Google Earth and look. It's a little more complicated. I think a little less fruitful success. I mean, honestly, I accept suggestions from people, right? Because I mean, like, if people have ideas where I should go, where I should film, like, I'll be there with the camera and the gimbal and the drone, but yeah, I'll be honest, I think the Great Wall and Xi'an pyramids are the first two, and yeah, I'm sure I will find more when I'm there. I'm sure I'll find a lot more sites to go to. Right. There's also like Liu Pan Shui, which is where the photos of like the natural pyramids, but I think they're eroded mountains, and that's in the southwest of the country. I was thinking of going there and filming it.
I think you should, yeah. And we'll also put, when we post this video on X and YouTube and stuff, or Facebook, I mean, we'll ask the audience if they have any suggestions for you to go to as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, for sure.
Have you went to the Terracotta Army?
No, I did not. I did not have the time to, but I do want to go back and film just go through there, film it, because I mean, yeah, there's another thing, like terracotta is another really interesting development, right? Like I made the error on X where there was this bowl that was turned, and it looks like terracotta. I was thinking maybe it could be flint, but then I realized it's probably just terracotta. But then I started thinking, well, if it was made from, like, I guess, I don't know, like, it looks like it has a lot of flint in it, and then I started wondering, well, how hard is this terracotta? And I'm thinking maybe it's harder than just like clay pottery, right? I mean, I'm not an expert, but yeah, the terracotta thing is also really interesting. There's a lot of historical things about terracotta, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna learn the sites when I'm there, I think.
I just looked it up, and you were spot on. 40 known pyramid-like structures in China. Wow. So some suggest there could be 100, but yeah, some of them are absolutely massive too. So I think you should. My request would be to get more pyramid footage. But I was really interested in that quarry was incredible too, just because the explanation of it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. Could we bring up one more? I think we skipped. You're talking about the pyramid footage. I have one more. Where was it?
Yeah, which one?
Number 12. Awesome. Yeah, I just want to show this one clip, right? So this is like on foot at the pyramid. So really strange. It doesn't look like a mound, right? For whatever reason, it looks like there's levels. I'm not saying that there's stones. I'm not saying that
but it's a step pyramid. It looks like a step pyramid,
which is wild, right? I mean, there was a Chinese gentleman on X saying that the good Chinese government does a lot of management of these, so maybe I don't know if they had planted trees on here. Maybe they planted them on rows and they did terracing. I don't know, but it doesn't look like a mound, like an earth mound. It looks something's going on. I don't know what, but something's going on there.
Yeah.
So
none of these pyramids in China are rock. They're all earthen correct?
Yeah, I think I saw. I think Jimmy Corsetti shared in his video a photo of a stone pyramid which is smaller than this one. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
can't validate where it is or if it's real. I don't know. I'm not saying that he would share false information. I'm just saying I that's the only one I've seen that isn't dirt is the one in Jimmy's video.
Well, we had a dude on last week who was showing pyramids in Ireland.
Oh wow.
So yeah, they're everywhere. Is this the one that can I steal, Mike? I'm gonna steal your screen. Is this the one that that Jimmy showed?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's wild. It's small, but it's still it's not small. It's just small compared to some other ones in Mexico and in Egypt. But,
Yeah, but that stone, like it's wow, that's mind blowing.
it is. I'd like to let Dr. Gregory Little loose on all these pyramids, mound pyramids in China. See what he thinks of them all.
Yeah, that'd be extremely valuable.
Thanks for showing us all that extremely cool footage that you got in China, and good luck on your trek back to China. We know you'll be producing a lot more cool footage in the future.
Thank you so much for allowing me to talk about it and share it. That's the point.
Yeah, we're excited to show it to the audience. And to be honest, it's my first time seeing some of that stuff. I did not know that Michael Collins had done a video on it. I'll have to go back and check out his.
Yeah.
But I absolutely loved the wide drone shots and of the quarry, as well as just thinking about what those could have looked like if polished to the degree that flint can get polished, and why. That's my favorite thing to think about when it comes to this stuff is like why carve that massive thing with all the nubs on it and stuff, and like what were you gonna do with it, you weirdos? Like I know, I mean that with all respect, because like I can't imagine in a million years what they would have done with a stone that big. That's just wild.
Yeah.
And there's no evidence in China of like a stone even close to that size erected in that way. So I don't even know why they would say that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would like to know the largest stele in China. That would be good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. But next thing we have up is some psychedelic. We're having a psychedelic discussion.
Yeah, if I guess this is the multiverse. So oh my goodness, we have some.
Yeah, so that's a big part. We have had a lot of guests on talking about different psychedelics and psychedelic experiences and stuff. So
Cool.
let's go.
Yeah. So this is actually in Brazil. This is in southern Brazil. I guess I'm an environmental scientist, so I studied like ecology, forest ecology, tropical forest recovery after land abandonment and succession, right from like abandoned land to a mature forest. So I spent 3 years in southern Brazil in Porto Alegre in Rio Grande do Sul at the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul, UFRGS, very strong in ecology. And my professor there, he did his PhD in Canada. And so I went to University of Toronto for my undergrad, and I did my PhD in environmental science, ecology, and I did a postdoc in Brazil where I lived there for 3 years. And one of those things that happens in Brazil, there's mushrooms that grow in cow feces. That's actually cow dung to the left, and that is a psilocybe cubensis, right, which is a psychedelic mushroom. And this is a beautiful like sample. This one is amazing. You can see
It's
yeah.
perfect.
And I don't know, have you guys seen like these mushrooms in person? Oh, you don't have to answer. I mean,
I grew a whole bag of them last year that I still have the dried version upstairs. I haven't actually touched them or eaten them or anything, but I got to watch these bad boys grow. Like it took weeks in fact months, but and then I got to pick them as they were coming up and stuff. And
wow.
so none of them were as perfect as this though.
Yeah.
This is a gorgeous
Yeah,
specimen.
really beautiful, really beautiful. And what's really cool about this one is you can see on the right, it looks like there's a claw mark or even like a bite mark taken out of it, which suggests that maybe an
Yeah.
animal came and took a little nibble of of the mushroom and then went.
It's about to evolve.
That's how this all got started.
Yeah. That's how they built those pyramids.
Next thing you know, it's a good idea to start wearing textiles.
Yeah, really. So I mean, yeah, you can see there. It looks like a claw mark or a bite mark. It's pretty
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Some coyote or something had a wild night.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and really, I mean, just beautiful. You can see the blue in the stem there, right? That's one of the identifying features of this mushroom, right? The like the purple spores, the blue in the stem. So,
Yeah.
and they just grow naturally in the zebu, the white cow with the hump. It's an Indian cow. They bring it to Brazil because they withstand heat better. So there's a lot of like white zebu cows in I guess in Brazil, and their feces produces these mushrooms. I think because I think they're originally from India. But who knows? Some people think they're extraterrestrial because they have like a chemical structure that's not seen anywhere else on Earth. I think there's some sort of molecule in its structure that I think it has like a phosphorus group somewhere else in its structure where everything else has a carbon or something. So some people think these might be extraterrestrial spores, right? Which is pretty insane
If
to
you
think
believe in
about.
Curious to know
panspermia, we're all extraterrestrial, right?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, we're
And
good.
that's another one. So those are two individual ones, it's two different specimens, but you could see like it looks extraterrestrial almost.
It does. It looks a lot like the ones I grew, except just much bigger and much more. Yeah, the ones I grew were probably about. The biggest one I got was probably about 2 inches. So.
Okay.
So now explain how this is
2 inches.
related to what we were just looking at.
It actually is, yes. So I guess after one would consume one of these mushrooms, right? I guess I can talk a bit about my trip where I consumed. Actually, I'll talk about the first one. This one I consumed it and I was thrown back to a time of child abuse when I was a child, and it was a really healing moment. It was as if I was like thrown back in time. There was a smell that triggered this memory, and it was like I was thrown back in time. And I was that child, right? And it was a very healing experience. And the second mushroom, I guess, the first one, the one with the bite marks, when I ate it, I saw like that image of the woman, and I use AI to kind of paint what I saw, and I saw this image of this purple woman. Yeah, that looks like that. We can't really see her eyes, and I was really upset with people in Canada. I was kind of running away, being in Brazil, and the mushroom said like you can't be here. You have to go home. You have to go back to your family, right? She said like I'm working really hard here, and you're just demanding my presence because I was just out there looking for mushrooms, just going crazy, right? Just like an addiction almost, right? Just kind of. And then it was like this woman came up and said, "No, you got to stop. You got to go home. You're an uncle. Your family's home. You got to be with your parents." And because I was thinking of just living in Brazil for the mushrooms, actually, to be honest. And then this woman came and said that, and then she disappeared. this all happened in maybe 10-15 seconds,
Wow.
and yeah, really wild experience.
How would you describe the mode of communication? Was it verbal, telepathic, or was it purely a download of information where you instantaneously knew multiple paragraphs at once?
Yeah, I would say it was probably telepathic. I mean, it was as if she was like in my eyes, even if I opened my eyes or closed my eyes, she was like there, right? Didn't matter if I was open or closed. It wasn't as if maybe it was all just a mental image. I don't know. I'm just explaining what I saw. I'm not saying she's real, right?
Hmm.
But this is just what I
Uh-huh.
saw. And we communicated telepathically. I didn't use words, and it was very like motherly. She was very motherly. She was like she was very stern, right? She was like, "What are you doing here? I'm very busy. Like, stop bothering me. You need to go home, right? Like, be with your family. Like, leave me alone," kind of thing. And then she like disappeared, and it was just
Interesting.
so I wasn't. It was not. I was definitely not expecting that. I was not looking for that, right? And it surprised me. It really surprised me, and really anthropomorphic. It wasn't like an alien, but it was really like human like.
Did you follow her instructions? You went home after that?
I did actually, yeah. I did. I went home. I mean, I was working in Brazil for 3 years, and then I took a pause. I took a break. Living in Porto Alegre is a bit difficult. There's a lot of electric fences and razor wire, and there's a lot of crime, a lot of graffiti. It's not an
Uh-huh.
easy place to live, and so I mean, I had to take some time. So I took a little break after my third year, and then that's when I was like, just I was lost. I was looking for meaning in life, addicted to these mushrooms, and then it's just like, you got to stop. Like, you got to go home. You're not here to eat mushrooms. You're here to be with your family. And that's every time I eat mushrooms, it just brings you back to the family. It's like
Hmm.
the purpose. I mean, right? It's like, what am I searching for? Really, the connection with family and people, and that's really like the most meaningful thing.
Hmm.
So
Now, you had mentioned in one of your early mushroom experiences that you revisited a period of childhood trauma. Do you think it was necessary to first revisit that and process it properly? Had it been packed away in unhealthy ways for many years, and then once you made it over that hump, then the answer became clear that you were, being drawn back towards family?
well, I was really surprised by my reaction, because I didn't think that the abuse was really abuse. I remember before the mushroom experience, I just remembered it that I didn't know what I was doing, and then after I was like, okay, whatever, it's not a big deal. I just know not to do it again. But then when I took the mushroom, it was like I was like scared, fear, sadness,
Hmm.
all, I guess they were suppressed emotions, right? I mean, um, yeah, it was. Yeah, I guess I was just surprised at my reaction, because I figured I didn't think it affected me that much. To be honest, I didn't think the abuse. I wouldn't even have used the word abuse, right? Uh, Before,
Right.
and then after, I was like, holy moly, this has really had a major impact on my life when I was really young, and I haven't resolved these issues. And I mean, I did cry when that happened, which was a big healing moment. But I think I don't know, I'm back to normal again. I don't have any resentment for that person, right? Because I guess initially I never thought it was abuse.
Yep.
So maybe there's more I got to heal. But
That's
yeah, it was
perfectly all
really
right.
wild.
And thanks for
Yeah.
opening up and sharing that. One of the things that
Yeah.
Adam Butler had pointed out on his interview with us is that these substances provide a mirror of insight into your own psyche and into your own life. And in Adam's case, his problems were fairly well defined on his story. But in your particular case, you had to look deeper through that obsidian mirror, let's say, because the shrooms are certainly not a bright, shiny glass mirror. I would say they're definitely a darker one. And peering further back into the past, it maybe shed some light on an unpleasant but necessary thing to deal with that enabled you in the present to move forward in a more healthy way. So there's some usefulness there, and I think it's important to point that out because, like you said, you were somewhat addicted to the feeling of it, but at the same time, it's not really that fun to be dealing with such dark things, is it?
Yeah, it's very intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times if you take it to party, you usually don't end up partying. You learn a life lesson.
Yeah, right,
and,
exactly.
and yeah,
And
so
everybody else is like, man, so and so went into the closet like 3 hours ago. We haven't seen him since.
That's what always happened to me when I tried to do mushrooms as a teenager. It would always end up being like, well, it's very mirror-like because then I'd start realizing how, I was being a bad son and I needed to like be better and like I need things like that. And I'd be like, why am I thinking about this at this rave? Like I'm supposed to be having fun, you know? So that is kind of, that's why I have this giant jar of mushrooms upstairs that I haven't touched yet because I don't want to go necessarily down that road. I'm getting there though. I'm getting there. I wanted to ask. So you said you were mad at people in Canada. What was that about COVID or was that before that? That was before,
no,
right?
that was before COVID. It was a personal issue. It was I had lost an unborn child, and I was just I was mourning. I was in mourning, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the loss of an unborn child, right? Like there's steps for in mourning, right?
Yeah.
And I was a bit lost in life, right? And I was not mourning properly, and I was looking for the next hit, the next drug, the next whatever to keep me
Mm-hmm.
going, like looking for like a meaning of life to kind of justify why the unborn did not come to be into this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of I was trying to make things worth it, right? So I would try to do like extravagant things to convince myself that it makes sense, that for the loss, right? And when people lose people and when they pass away, when they mourn, right? They a lot of times they try to like justify, oh, okay, um, I'm in Brazil, so I should be happy, right? But
Mm-hmm.
in reality, I was sad. It was mourning, and I was
Mm-hmm.
not dealing with that. So I mean, it's again, it's no one's fault in Canada. It's more, I guess, I was upset with God
Mm-hmm.
or the creator or of physics or the universe, right?
Yeah. Whoever
So
put us here, whatever we're doing here. Yeah. I've been mad at that guy before too. And yeah, it's interesting because to me because as a young man, I would turn to like alcohol or fighting and things like that.
mhm.
Um, you're like hunting down mushrooms in Brazil. That's very interesting to me. But also, and I found it interesting. You said you ate that whole mushroom in its entirety,
Yes,
correct? So
yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know how
quite
many
big.
grams that is, but I I think there's something to eating the whole individual mushroom versus like, you know, a bag of dried crumbled mushrooms or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like I do feel like each mushroom has like a different thing to tell you.
Yeah, totally, definitely. Each one has a different lesson, and I don't know because it was in nature. Maybe it's different being grown in the sun instead of inside a
Closet.
lights. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's true.
Surely is.
Yeah, mine was
yeah.
literally grown in a well, I started it out in a cupboard, and then I had to pull it out and put it in my kitchen and give it some light and stuff. But yeah, I think you're probably right. I think there must be something to that. We'll see. I'll let you know what happens when I go deep on mine. I also signed up for this psych. Actually, I think that That's tomorrow. Okay. But I signed up for this psychedelic experience that like some combat veterans put on with some ibogaine and stuff like that. But you don't do it anymore. You don't do mushrooms anymore. Or do you?
I mean, I would continue to consume if given the choice. Yes,
Okay.
I would
So
continue.
so it wasn't like I got to stop doing mushrooms because it was like I just got to go home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like I just got to align with my like life purpose and why I'm here, and just it was a lot of faith. It was a lot of
Mhm.
faith because it was I didn't. My job was in Brazil. I had a job in Brazil. I didn't have a job in Canada.
Mhm.
My profession was in Brazil. My dream was in Brazil. I worked. I went to university for so long to do experience that dream, and I went back on just faith on yeah, faith
It's
really. That's where I need to be back at home with family
it's interesting how you
because of that
describe
message.
that. All that combination of things, the status, the job title, the hard work. Let's not discount the hard work and ambitions that you had in that program. That's all real and something to be proud of, but it's all personal ego driven. It's all I'm going to accomplish these things, even if your goal is to better yourself. It's still I'm striving or struggling to make that betterment. Looking into the dark mirror, peeling back all those layers of ego, even the good layers of ego that are striving for excellence. And the answer was clear. It seemed like faith at that time because the ego had built up this entire city on top of not that. But when you peel those layers of ego back, the faith answer is you could feel your heart. You knew the answer from your heart that it was time to get back closer to your family. So it's interesting how these are useful tools for such things like that.
Wow, well said. Sounds like you've had an experience yourself, Mike. I mean, you don't have to share if you don't want, but
I'm no stranger. I ain't afraid of the dark either.
I am. I'm afraid of my dark. So I was messing around with microdosing psilocybin in like I guess that honestly that's what started our podcast. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I had been ordering because now it's legal in Canada, right? I was literally ordering mushrooms from Canada from a company in British Columbia, and it was microdosed form. And I would never once was I tripping balls or anything like that. But I, there was something was connecting my brain to my body more than I was used to. I was able to feel my body in different ways, and I I was also feeling like I was getting more of a purpose. Like I was trying to think of the right word. I could see my purpose more, and I remember watching Jimmy Corsetti at the beginning of his stuff. I've been following Graham Hancock and Robert Bivall and all these guys and Robert Chuck their work for 20 plus years. I remember thinking back in 2014 I should start a podcast about this stuff, but I was in my own school. I was in grad school myself for something totally different, and Mike and I had met at Cosmic Summit a few months before that, and that's when I said, "Hey, you want to start a podcast talking about, the similar interests?" And that's and I don't think that would have happened had I not been, microdosing mushrooms during that time. So, thanks, mushrooms, appreciate it.
yeah, like a life purpose type of alignment with what you want. That's great.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I definitely want to get to one of the first things you told me after we were talking about your channel and the megalithic stuff. You had a traumatic, like a major traumatic brain injury. What year was that?
Yes, that was June 2016.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
really
happened?
wild. Yeah, this is me waking up after 24 hours after my injury. I was in a 24-hour coma. This is the third intensive care unit hospital they sent me to.
Mm-hmm.
So what was happening? I was a hazardous waste pickup driver, and I would pick up drums of waste, so like 205-liter drums of like flammable liquids, whatever, right? Methanol, ethanol, and hazardous waste, and I was moving a drum off my gate lift, or my lift gate on the back of a truck. That's the thing where you lift and it goes up and down. And I was using the lift gate to unload, and the drum, they weighed it. It weighed what was it, 500 pounds. It was 238 kilograms. They weighed it after, which is equal to 500 pounds. And I think what happened was, so when you move a drum, you tilt it and then you roll it, and you can move like a 500 pounds of volume. And I think when I tilted it, I slipped and it pushed me off the lift gate, and I hit the back of my head, and the drum fell onto my face, onto my nose, and like crushed my head against the concrete, the floor. And so I had like a broken nose, I had broken cheekbone, a broken occipital bone, which is like the back skull. I'm permanently deaf in my left ear. I have loud tinnitus. It ruptured my eardrum. The incus and malleus were like broke, became dislocated. And yeah, I'm recovering from Bell's palsy. It's a miracle I'm alive, to be absolutely honest. I mean, like, that's my Bell's palsy, how it was before. It was complete, right? Complete. I'm really lucky it grew back. I know some people watching may have Bell's palsy and it hasn't grown back, and it just doesn't. When I smile, I still have, like, people really they don't care. They won't judge you differently. Um, they see your soul, they see your spirit, right? And yeah, I'm just lucky to be alive, honestly. And I I'm again, I'm agnostic. I don't know if there's a God or not. I think that's an open-minded approach to take, but like, I think there's still a meaning for me to be alive in this earth for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I try to cherish that. I try to be a better person. I film a lot of myself now. There was not a lot of video footage of me before. Now I film a lot, just because I could have passed away. And I guess I did have a little bit of a near death experience too, if you want to. So that was like that. I just remember before waking up from the coma, being in this like dark room, and it was quiet and it was calm. There was no pain, and I don't remember my body. Maybe I was in my body, and it was just like a voice. I don't know if it was telepathic, but it said like, so what do you want to do? Like, do you want to keep like living, pretty much? And I remember being like, yeah, like, oh yeah, of course. Like, no other option in my mind. Like, I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna do that. And then I remember, and it was like, I kind of just woke up right then, and that was like the start of my long journey back to, right. So when I woke up, I realized I was deaf, half deaf in my left ear. Well, like, completely deaf in my left ear. Saw my face, and yeah, I mean, I wonder. I At that point, I didn't think it was like a near-death experience, because I didn't even think I was dying. I didn't even know I was really injured at that point, because I think my body kind of protected my memory, because I don't remember the accident. So it was like I wasn't I wasn't even aware of how serious my injury was.
Right. And how long did the Bell's palsy last?
It was I mean, it's been slowly throughout the years. I was able to close my eye maybe 3 to 5 months after the injury. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to close it. I would tape it shut with and put Vaseline, like an eye ointment, and tape it shut every night. And I was off. It was a work accident, so I was off work for like 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like a workplace safety insurance board, WSIB, here, which gives like major injuries, irrefutable injuries, they provide like some salary, like compensation. It's
Mm-hmm.
like an insurance. We pay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an employment insurance that's nationalized in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on that, and but yeah, it's been a struggle. And I mean, I've been lifting weights now. Like now, I lift weights on Twitch. I've done 300 weightlifting streams in the last 5 years. I'm really proud of myself. It's been great for my mental health. It's been great for my physical health, and I try to inspire others with head injuries. I met Andy Schrock. I don't know if you know him. He's like a skateboarder YouTuber. He also had a head injury.
Mm-hmm.
I met him in person in Cincinnati a few years ago. He's also half deaf, and it was just inspiring to see and that's why I wanted to start with the megalith stuff, because I think you guys invited me for the megalith stuff. I think that's what's good to contribute to this podcast, and I see the injury as like secondary, right? Versus what am I able to contribute, and that's kind of a big approach I've taken, because I mean, after a major injury, you gotta decide yourself that um, you're not disabled, you're not limited, and you have to like convince yourself, even when other people are saying you are, and that kind of also was difficult. Just just moving the weights was a really easy way to do that, because I just lift. I don't have to think. I just do it, and I grow. So that's yeah. I'm lucky to be alive.
I
I'm
don't know,
really lucky.
man. That's not secondary for me. That resonates with me because I had a few head injuries in Iraq, and
Oh wow.
back then we'd get. I don't like sharing too much, but back then when we'd get hit with an IED or something, if you didn't, as long as you, this was in 2005, right? So as long as you could walk around the next day, you go back out on mission, right? And very rarely would you say, oh, you wouldn't tell anyone you had headaches or anything like that, because you would, they might take you away from your job or whatever, right? There's a lot of weird, just ego stuff going on. But the point is, I ended up developing Bell's palsy in 2007 after those head injuries, but I think it was because of a vaccine I got, a flu shot to be precise. And I had Bell's palsy for about 6 weeks. So for about 6 weeks, I couldn't close my eye. So I'm not going to do it for you guys right now, but if I were to try to do a full smile, it would be like my left side would go all the way and my right side would not. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
And
much.
so I can feel it right now in my face. But anyway, recovering from major injuries and inspiring others is a purpose, Mark. I think that's your purpose. And I don't want to downplay that at all, because it is a choice, right? I'm in the middle of making a similar choice right now. I've been majorly injured for another reason for a couple of years now, and it's a daily fight. And it's so much of it is mental that, people like you, or people like you, other people you find online who are, trying to inspire others to experience similar things. It's so important, because you can see somebody else dealing with what you were dealing with, and doing something with it, and still following their dreams, and still striving to get better, and things like that. So, I love megalithic architecture and stuff, but that's an incredible story, man. It really is.
Yeah, thanks. I really didn't have. You're not like you don't have any choice, right? I mean, I'm sure you didn't have a choice when you developed Bell's palsy
No,
randomly,
I thought I
right?
was having a stroke. I called my friend to take me to the ER. I woke up and I literally couldn't move half my face. I was like, "Am I having a stroke?" Like, what? My friend took me to the doctor and he's like, "Nope, you got Bell's palsy." So yeah.
Wow. Well, like I remember looking in the mirror and learning I had Bell's palsy and just me just screaming, right? Just terror. And I don't know
Yeah.
if you had something similar, right? Like,
Yeah, it was it
crazy.
was one of the, if I don't think about it too often, but if I think about it, it was one of the scariest things that ever happened to me, because your face doesn't move, you know, and yeah, it was scary. And then you also have because when afterwards I'm like Googling, because the doctor's like, could be 2 weeks, could be a year, could last forever, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious right now? And so, like, having to manage your stress, because stress is like makes it worse and whatnot. Having to manage your stress while that's happening is like, and I did not have the tools or the social support back then. So I'm just grateful that it came back, man. Because and knock on wood, they say it could come back again. So.
Yeah, I think about that too. I think about that. And it's yeah, we really just don't have a choice. Things happen, like that accident. I don't remember being like, oh, if I didn't do this right, it was just like just boom, and you're just thrown there, and then you wake up, and then
Mm-hmm.
half death.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what happened, right? And it's like I feel like you don't really have choice. You just got to work with what you have, and maybe that's one of the life lessons, right?
Well,
But
the,
wow,
the more
I'm
the more individuals that share their story, the more likely you are to connect with someone that has that exact similar story. So it's really good to do that.
yeah, really. What a now I understand Dave's. He was really interested in my story, and now I understand. Like I guess maybe it is an interesting story too, but the personal similarity is we're in a similar understanding.
Yeah, well, I reached out to you about the megalithic China stuff, and then when you told me your story, I was like, "Oh, I definitely want to talk to this guy." And so, where can people find your Twitch?
My Twitch, yeah, I changed the handle to twitch.tv/megalithic_China, but I'm probably going to change it back to my original name. I've been streaming on Twitch, and that is Gyges Z. Gyges. It's from Plato's Republic.
Mhm.
I see, Mike, you're shaking your head. That's good. He's like the sorry, he's like the hedonist archetype where Glaucon posits. It's really one sentence, really quick. Glaucon says, like, why do we have law? Is it because we're inherently good, or we just want to avoid the consequences, right? And if you have this guy like Gyges, this hedonist who goes around, finds his ring of invisibility, and kills the king and becomes the king. Uh, it's like a thought whether we are inherently good or we're just good because we don't want to go to jail or we want to avoid the consequences. So when this video comes out, it would be twitch.tv/GYGESZ.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Cool.
GYGESZ. Yeah, that's my name that I had for the last few years. So
I like it, and we'll be sure to link all your stuff, your X, your YouTube, your Twitch, down
thank you.
below. And we'd love it if you reached out to us from China and let us know if you found anything interesting. And how long are you planning on staying? Just a couple of years, or how long do those work visas last?
Yeah, well, usually it's 1 year, but this school wants 2 years. I will be teaching high school biology, so I'll be helping a grade 11 and 12 cohort get into universities.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Chinese students want to go to Canada and the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to university in Canada. So, like University of Toronto is a lot of Chinese, and I
Mm-hmm.
went to University of Toronto, so I will help them get into U of T. Hopefully, that's kind of the dream. So 2 years is the contract in Changsha, which is like in the center of the country. It's where
Mm-hmm.
I Show Speed did a backflip on a building, like 36 million people saw. So
Wow.
yeah, something crazy.
I need to look that up. Changsha's a big city too, huh? 10
Changsha, yeah,
million? Holy
yeah,
moly, wow.
yeah,
10, I was thinking it was like 1 or 2. 10 million people. That's
yeah. They have a big electric car factory plant there. BYD is their builder dreams. They're like the Chinese Tesla.
interesting. Nationalism is the new psyop. So Mike and I talk about psyops all the time and what could be the psyop and what couldn't and stuff like that. It's like 60% of or more of what we talk about. But I'm going to keep an eye on that one because I think you might be onto something. Because I think there's nothing wrong with national pride in a way, like Irish, like Irish traditions, yada yada, whatever, American, but like when nationalism is being pushed as a division rather than a form of pride, and it's pushed as a hatred and a fear monger, a totally different thing, you know?
Yeah, totally. And just even seeing people here say they're going to boycott buying stuff from the U.S. and all this stuff, even themselves, not just the day-to-day people saying, "Oh, I stopped buying this because it's American product. I'm only buying Canadian." It's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to judge them, but it shows that they have a negative bias towards like our neighbor
I
when
always
we're
think that
very similar.
sort of looks down an interesting road, though, because the entire global economy is kind of predicated on burning fossil fuels to transport stuff between continents. Has anyone ever thought of like why didn't everybody just do what they do on their continent and still drive stuff around on trucks, but maybe eliminate some of the transoceanic trade? But no, they want us to have petty squabbles and divisions and petty boycotts and petty, well, I'm going to look at this on the shelf or not, because the people that are running the global economy have not changed a single thing. They're still manipulating and exploiting people in certain continents as they've been doing for decades, and making sure that we, the obedient consumers, are distracted by whatever the heck else they're selling on news. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like it's definitely not a new psyop. If it seems like really long rooted and longer than I had thought after you said that, Mike. I understand now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been the goal since the beginning, right?
This has been a blast. It's been a fun show. It's been great to get to know you, Mark. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. Thank you guys for taking a chance on me too. I really appreciate it. I love to talk too.
Yeah, welcome to the multiverse, my friend. I think people are going to love your episode. They're going to love your story. They're going to love seeing the different your take on the different megalithic sites. And we hope to bring you back when you come come back from China again. We'll bring you back on and see if you found anything cool.
Awesome. Honor. I appreciate that very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hang around.
Yeah.